for preparing for an investigation?
It depends. So, for a private investigation, so for example, years ago, there was a lady who said that her son was seeing something in his room and he couldn't go to sleep. And so, at the time, I was with like a team of friends that they were professional investigators. I did not, I'm trying to think about that. This was years ago. I was like, listen, we're gonna go and help him. So let's just go and just fill out the house. And
How old
so
was he?
6 or 7. Yeah,
Mm,
beautiful house. I would have been so mad if that was my house. Like, get that ghost, get out of here. The house is beautiful.
right.
Anyway, no, we got there. I did a prayer with them. So I do a prayer before an investigation and after one. Just
Mm,
ask white light of the Holy Spirit. Just make sure that we're protected because you never know what you're walking into.
yeah.
And so we went in. We talked to the family that lived there. We didn't talk to him. And I remember him just being like, "Yeah, I'm scared of my room, and I can't go in there." Da, da. And then we just did a walkthrough of the house. So it's a long story, but just to tell you the process, I walked through, and then didn't. I felt I wanted to see where I was drawn to instead of them being like, "That's the room." It was more being like, "Okay, let's see where I feel like I want to go to." So that's an example. So that's a private residence. If I'm doing I'm trying to think because there's different. There's so many different types. Okay, Lilydale. They're gonna allow me a few places to investigate with groups. So
Well,
people that
explain
have,
what Lily Dale is for those who's not
oh
familiar
my
with it.
gosh,
Yeah.
Lilydale. Yeah,
She
I
was
love
telling me about this off the air.
I love it. So, Lilydale is a hamlet community. It is about an hour away from Buffalo, New York.
Mm,
And it was, I want to say the community was built anywhere between like 1870, 1880. So all the houses there are old. However, they're like beautiful Victorian doll houses. They're gorgeous. Every person that lives in Lilydale is a registered medium. They have all been tried and tested. So in order to live there,
every
you have,
person?
yeah, would you say?
I said every person?
Yep, everyone that lives there, that they are all mediums. I mean, if they're
Wow.
there with their husband or whatever, they just
Right.
yeah,
But for the
somebody
most
in the
part.
house is a medium, and it's gorgeous. And so during summer, it's like a spiritual Disneyland. So I want to say like from the very beginning of June to the very end of August, you can go. You pay a gate fee of like $10, $15, and they have different events. They have spirit messages where people like psychics will just give you messages from loved ones. You just sit there and see if they call on you. They have that service like 3 or 4 times a day. You can make appointments with the mediums that live there. You just make an appointment. You go to their house. They read you. They have classes, 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 and so they do workshops, different things. Learn how to read auras. Learn how to do numerology, paranormal, whatever. It's so many.
Mm.
Everybody wants to teach in Lilydale. It is a very prestigious place. I think every year they get like 400 applications and they only choose maybe 150 if less than that. And so I always highlight that when talking about it or posting about it because it's a big deal to be teaching. Some people I can feel are jealous that I can feel it. I'm like, you guys, I'm psychic. Yeah, I can tell. People are jealous that I'm teaching there. I believe that in addition to them having seen me work, but they realize that it's like it would be nice to see a lot more of different types of people
Diversity, yeah.
teaching. And so yeah, it's great. I love going. They have a lot of, how can I explain it? Like they have so many people they're visiting that it's cool to be like go to my class and then I have like a whole bunch of walk-ups because people are like, "Oh, I heard you were teaching. Oh, I saw you in the brochure." And so if I have 10 people that signed up online, the day of I'll probably have 30 people on the class.
Mm.
My investigations always sell out. The first year they asked me to go, I did not know what to do. I had like 70 people show up to my investigation. My mentor lived there, Lisa
Hmm.
Williams. Thank God she was there. Oh my gosh. She's
I know
used to
that was a
groups.
lot.
That's what she does. She used to groups. She was like, Tawny, I'm here. I got you. What do you need? I was like, help me. And she she was like, okay. And she's got everyone in order. She helped me with just the crowd, like getting everyone in order. But I was like, so that's what they want. They want to do investigations. They saw me and
Mm.
they were like, she's different. They all signed up. I had two women that were helping me. Oh my God, I haven't never talked about this on the podcast.
Yes.
women that agreed to help me who were also paranormal people, and their attitudes changed. They were jealous at the turnout. The people that showed up, they were
They were
jealous.
white.
They
She's shaking
saw
her head, y'all.
um They saw the turnout. They shut down. They were supposed to help me. They wouldn't help me. I asked, and this is real. I asked one of them if she could take a picture of the audience for me, and she said, "No, my head hurts. Swear to God that happened." Oh yeah, they were very,
Wow.
very jealous, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, and so and that's another struggle with this path for me as
Mm-hmm.
if being different as a psychic medium, as a paranormal investigator. I have a lot of people that support me, but then there's a lot that are like, "Oh, she's different, so she's taking my shine." That I
Mm.
can feel it, I can see it. And they're like, "Oh, well, what about me? I do the
Right.
same thing." And it's like, "Well, yeah, but you look like everybody else over there. She doesn't."
Yeah.
And so that, oh God, I've encountered that so much. And so that's another reason why I try to stay
That
positive.
gotta be exhausting.
It is. And that's why I uplift. That's actually one of the main reasons why I try to uplift other investigator female, because of
Your
that
experiences with them,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. And so that's the Lily Dale. Sorry, I went a little off, but I had to bring that up because it's a big deal. And people always
Yeah.
want to see me and
Good
they
for
always
you,
sell
sis.
out.
I'm happy for you.
But thank God for Lisa the first year. But I got it under control the following year.
Yeah.
But yeah, they now I've told them, do not let 70 people sign up for my investigations. I try to cap it at like 20 or 30. And then the most I could take is probably 35. And then I do it now 2 nights. The first year it was one night and everybody was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Good for you. Good for you.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. See, I like hearing stuff like that because I feel like what you don't know, you just don't know. So
Yeah.
I never heard Lily Dale before. So the fact that you are probably the only brownie there that are teaching these classes and having these investigations because of who you are and being proud of it really speaks volumes. So just being proud. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty dope.
there's only one other that I've heard. I don't remember her name, but I believe she's a psychic medium and she's done classes there, but not paranormal. I think she does like mediumship things, And so I remember being like, oh, another minority. This is great. It's like it's cool. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I think it's just her and I think, and that's absolutely no ding to Lilydale. I love that place, but I really appreciate them bringing me back every year and just allowing different people, different, and I appreciate people. They like me, it sounds
Yeah.
simple, but I'm like, oh my God, they like me. They always sign up and they always, something like, oh, I came for you. And I'm like, last year, one lady, her and her friend were like, we came from Ohio because we saw you in the brochure and we wanted to take your
Oh,
class. I was like, I'm gonna
wow. Oh,
cry.
that's so dope.
Yeah,
No, it's a really good feeling,
yeah,
especially, I mean, don't come from me, Lily Dale, but they sound pretty white. So, so the fact that people are traveling just to come see you in this predominantly white, and I'm also assuming it's a rural town.
yes. It's so you land in Buffalo, and then as you're driving, you're just like,
So it's the outskirts.
hey,
Yeah.
a Trump flag? Oh my God. I'm
Trump,
like,
Confederate. Right,
yeah,
right.
I'm
So
like,
yeah.
so yeah, it's kind of in the country, but absolutely beautiful. And actually, I would recommend it if you're ever in. You just so happen to be in that New York area, just like, what? And it's summer, just because it's such a lovely environment and energy, and like the spirit messages, and it's not like it's hard to explain. And I always tell people, I'm like, I would just go, even if it's like 2 days, and you're just like, that was lovely, that was nice, and then you go about to normal life. So.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So I
Mhm.
know you spoke about praying before a session, but do you carry anything on you just to protect yourself?
I do, and it's funny. I normally wear it for interviews. I usually wear a master crystal quartz because
Mhm.
I left it at home.
Well, I have good
Master crystal.
energy, so
What'd you say?
I have good energy, so you
Yeah,
good.
Master is huge. It's big crystal. I'll usually wear that.
Hmm.
Some people have asked me, what should I wear? Is there something I should wear? I would say whatever you're drawn to, and so I would say, black tourmaline. That's a good one.
That's what I have in my purse.
Yeah, I would say keep it in your purse. It clears negative energy. One girl, she told me like, I really like tiger eye. I said, see, keep that one on you. That's what you're drawn to. But for me, yeah, a crystal quartz. I love labradorite. Labradorite is when I keep that in my purse.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely wear it for every investigation, and then yeah, I do a prayer beforehand, and then I do one before I leave the property just to make sure nothing leaves with us. I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever's here, stay here. Not welcome. Thank you for letting us go. Peace out. But
right.
also throughout the investigation, throughout the investigation, I communicate to them on the boxes to make it clear we're just having a communication, and then
Hmm.
once we're done with the communication, we're done. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. Well, you have a good day. I hope you like stay here.
Like
And then
holla,
usually,
right.
yeah, like, and then usually they're like, okay. Some it just depending on how intelligent they are. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Or goodbye. Like the army guy in Gettysburg, he said, thank you. What do you say? I'm leaving now, or I'm going to my sergeant. Something that made it clear that he was. And we were like, did he really just say, okay, I'm leaving? What the heck? Just
Oh,
to make sure. Oh yeah, just to make sure that nothing is like, oh, I like you. I'm gonna follow you. That's
right.
probably the most common question. They're like, well, just something follows me. You just talk to. You have to remember these are people that lived. They talk to them like a person. Like, stay here. Hi, you're not welcome. Bye. Just communicate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so interesting too, how like even though this person has transitioned, they still have their same personality.
They do. Yeah, it depends. Like that's what I always teach in the classes. I'm like, you have to remember they're still the same person that they were when they were here in the physical. So communicate. Well, unfortunately, you might get an asshole. You might get something that's
Yeah.
like, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you.
Right. Could
But
you
okay.
imagine a spirit telling you to fuck you? Like, I'm like,
Oh,
excuse
luckily, it's rarely happened to me, but it has happened. And you know what I do? I say, okay, have a good day.
me?
I'm not
Right.
gonna, because there's some people that are like, no, you're gonna talk to me. I was like, no, 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 no. That's how you get followed. Like that's how you get. Yeah, like I'm gonna respect them, but they don't want to talk to me. Bye. There's an investigation I did years ago at for Brackenfern Manor in Lake Arrowhead. I always talk
Oh,
about
that's a good, that's the brothel house, right?
the the Brackenfern Manor and Tudor house.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I always bring that one up because of how haunted it is. But in the basement of the Tudor house, there's something dark. I think a man was probably killed down there, and he pushed my friend. My friend was
Wait, so
like,
tell
"I'm
the
done."
history about it. I love this story when you tell it.
Oh yeah, let me separate it. The Brackenfern Manor was a brothel.
Right.
It was, yeah. There's all the rooms are named after the
Prostitutes.
women.
Hmm.
So like there's Violet and Jasmine and Rose, and yeah, that place creepy. But across from it, the road is the Tudor house, and the Tudor house, a lot of celebrities from the the Prohibition era. To get away from Hollywood, they would go up the mountain to Lake Arrowhead. They would go to the Tudor house and do illegal stuff. They'd be gambling, drinking, sleeping with
Mm.
these women. If you go in the basement of the Tudor house, the bottles are still down there, which I thought was really cool. You see all these bottles in a corner broken because what it was is they'd be drunk, and then someone would say, the police are coming up the mountain, and then they will all throw their stuff down the chute, and the chute is in the basement. So if you go down, yeah, you see it. I was like, that's so freaking cool. So anyway, in that basement, there was something dark, and my friend got pushed, and he was like, I'm done, I'm over this. And he left. There was oh my god, another man. He was being negative, like, I don't believe in ghosts, da, 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 just talking. And then we were doing an investigation, and he started screaming, and he was on the ground, and he did have a mark on his stomach. I question sometimes when people are like, oh, it was scratched, but he did. He had a mark on his stomach. And then a few hours later, I was supposed to take a group of people down there. I was like, really? Do I have to? And then I was on the team, and they're like, yeah. And I got to the stairs, and I said, listen, I know you don't like people down here. I know you don't want to see your space.
Not you
Like
negotiating with
talking
the
to him.
ghosts.
Yeah, I was
Right.
talking to him, and I said, we will be out of here in less than 2 minutes. If you could just let us show us that you exist, we will literally leave this space in 2 minutes. And I laid the equipment down, and then they went off. So he was basically saying, okay, I'm here, go away. Like that. And I said, okay, thank you, have a good day. We left. And I remember the group, they were like, did that just happen? I said, yeah, but that's also proof for you. Just talk to them if you need to,
Right.
like a human. Because you could feel his energy. He was just like, yeah, I'm here. Okay, look, 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 light up, light up. Look, light up. Okay, can you leave now? Like that. And I respected it. Whereas if I didn't, he probably would have pushed me down like my friend. If I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep walking in and messing with you, and I was like, no, I'm goodbye, thank you.
Yo, that
So
is so scary. Imagine
yeah,
getting pushed by a ghost, like something that you can't
he
see. It's
did. Yeah,
crazy.
he was done. He was like, I'm out of here. He's an investigator, but he had never been touched.
Physically harmed,
Yeah, and he
right.
was like, I can't. He left, and then the other guy was a jerk. He deserved that. But that he was talking negative. Like, this is not the room or the space for you to be acting like that, sir. And so I'm not
Right.
shocked that that happened.
Right. So speaking of Hollywood, with all of the energy and conversation that's surrounding it, In your experience, which places in Hollywood carry the most spiritual or haunted energy?
Ooh, there's so many places out in Hollywood. I'm gonna say the number one that I usually bring up is Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Yeah. It's a beautiful cemetery. As a matter of
Not a
fact,
beautiful cemetery, Tawny.
it's would you say no,
I said, not a beautiful cemetery, girl.
well, what's interesting about it, and I kind of joke around with my friend, is that it's a park. It's called Hollywood Forever Park or something. And I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute. And you go and you see people eating lunch and doing yoga. And I'm like, really? So that I will not do. I'm sorry, I'm not eating lunch.
Wait, they doing yoga and eating lunch at the cemetery?
Oh yeah. If
But
you
isn't
look
that
up,
kind of like
yeah,
disrespectful?
if you look up Hollywood Forever Cemetery, it's like a park. And see, that's what I meant. I was like, it's beautiful, but I'm sorry, I'm not like doing extracurricular things there. But no, it's full of celebrities that have been buried there. Like Judy Garland is there. Who else? Burt Reynolds, Mickey Rooney, like a lot of the old stars from the past. And it's during COVID, I was so bored. My friend and I would just go and like walk around and try to seriously, I would try to like pick up intuitive information about like certain celebrities, and he would look online and confirm it, like, because I wouldn't know who so and so was. But it's definitely haunted, absolutely. The mortuary, they have a lot of what's his name, there's a celebrity called last name's Valentino. He was from that Rudolph Valentino. I think he died in 1929, and he has an interesting backstory. But the area that he's in, a lot of energy. A friend of mine, we went like 2 years ago and did an investigation in there.
Mm.
So yeah, I would tell people that's probably the easiest if you're interested in paranormal in Hollywood. It's open every day from like 8 to 5. Go in there and walk around, see some celebrity graves, and try to do an investigation. Absolutely.
But you don't think that's kind of like disrespectful when people like do these extracurricular activities? Or I feel like, especially in today's time, I feel like people really don't respect the dead.
I think I hear you, because that's why I was like, ooh, I don't want to like have a picnic here. They have
Right.
movies there. I will say they do movies there, but I think they have it on a lawn on the opposite side of the Hollywood Forever. It's a thing they do. It's like a big thing for summer. But disrespectful, I'm hesitant to say, only because they've been doing it for so long at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And I think because of the celebrities buried there, people are like, oh look, I'm here. Look, oh look, I'm sitting next to so and so's grave. Like that's kind of how LA is, and tourists
Right.
here. So I'm just kind of like, disrespectful. It depends. It's just them being very LA. That's the best way to describe it. Because I've seen
Yeah.
people having lunch, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. Like I'm good. So yeah.
Yo, another thing I saw on your Instagram page where you was talking about Marvin Gaye, how people would go to his house and people would say how they would see him. And I'm like, yo, I used to be so obsessed with him.
That's one thing that I think would be so cool, and that's one thing that bothers me, is that there's not enough Black stories being talked about on these paranormal shows. Where it's
Yeah.
like, hello, But yeah, he was killed in sorry, let me
Was it a
back up.
childhood house by his father, right?
His father's house. That's why I was like, let me back up. His father's. I might be wrong. I'm so sorry. I don't have this ready. I know that there's a house in West Adams here in Los Angeles. West Adams was an affluent African American community back in the
Yeah.
1940s. Yeah, and I know Hattie McDaniel lived there, and the house is gorgeous. And him and his dad, I don't think they ever got along. And one day they got into a fight, and his dad shot him, and
Yeah.
Marvin died in the house. And so it's, from my understanding, it's never been investigated, but they have done movies in that vicinity, where I've seen stories. Like there's one actress that said that she always felt really uncomfortable, or she felt like someone was watching her. And I've always been like, can I investigate, please, somewhere else? So it's one place I think is very, very interesting, that I do believe has, if not, I don't know, I wouldn't say Marvin's haunting it, but I definitely believe there's some residual energy there, because he was shot and killed, which was a very traumatic event, clearly. And so it
Yeah.
would be interesting to go in there, and I bet you a psychic would feel that. They'd probably walk in and be like, oh, like I feel like that's kind of like that residual. They're like, I literally just feel like someone shot me. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a place I think would be very interesting to investigate.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, oh shit, I just had a brain fart. Oh, and the crazy thing is, one of the things that you put on your Instagram page is that how he tried to commit suicide like 4 times already.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
multiple
remember.
times, should I say?
He had a lot of issues, and I don't know too much about Marvin. I wasn't like a fan of his music or
I
anything.
love Marvin
I think
Gaye.
he's a very talented individual, but
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting like researching it. I was like, wow, he had a lot of problems, like a lot of demons, and at some point in his life to where who knows who knows what went on in that house to where his dad felt like he needed to shoot his own child.
Especially through the heart at that. Like,
See, yes,
damn.
like what happened? What was he saying? What was his energy like? Like what brought him that low? So yeah.
Yeah. Now, what are some places on your list of scariest or most haunted places that you want to visit around the world?
Oh, people don't think I'm crazy. The Valeska Axe Murder House.
What's that?
Oh, okay. It's in I Iowa. Oh, I always get them mixed up. Idaho
Oh,
or Iowa.
hell,
It's in
now you want
Iowa.
to know Iowa?
Yeah,
Girl.
that's why I haven't been. That's why I haven't been. It's I think it's Iowa, and it's yeah, a family of I want to say 6 or 7. I might be wrong, but some person came and murdered like the whole family, the husband, the wife, and like 6 kids. And they say that house is just active, mostly the kids. And a lot you could spend the night there. I was like, what? I don't want to spend the night. I'm just nosy and want to investigate it. But yeah, you spend the night there. And there it's very active. So that's why I was always interested where like people say they get a lot of activity there. So that's one. I've always wanted to investigate the Tower of London, because they say like what do you call it? What's her name? Oh my god. I can't think of her name right now. She was beheaded. A queen, or she was beheaded, or whatever. Sorry, it popped in my head. What's her name? A queen was beheaded, and they say that they see her walking around the Tower of London without
With
her
no
head.
head?
Yeah, it's
Girl.
bothering me that I can't think of her name right now because I'm very into like her story. But yes, beheaded, and I'm trying to think right now if I could think of it. Whatever. And that's place Tower of London, and then anywhere in Scotland because I like castles, and I have
Mhm.
never been in one, and I feel drawn to them. So I'm hoping that one day I get to investigate a castle.
Queen Anne Boylan?
Her and Boleyn,
Okay.
yeah, Anne Boleyn. That's the one. She they say they see her walking around. I was like, interesting. So, but yeah, that's the top like top of my head. For years I wanted to investigate the 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐵 House, which is in San Diego, and I've done it multiple times over the years. But I remember being young, like 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐵 House, 𝐬𝐿𝐫 House. But I would recommend that to anybody that an
What's the
investigator.
Whaley House? What's the backstory with that?
Ooh, the 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐵 House is in San Diego. So from me, it's 2 hours south. It's was built in 18, I want to say like 1850.
Mhm.
It's been a few things. It was like a courthouse at one point. Then I think it was like a general store. It was a few things, but it sounds like from history it was kind of always haunted because the Whaley family lived there in like the late 1800s, and they thought it was haunted at the time. And then they all started dying. There was a little girl that got I think she got choked by a what do you call it something. She was running outside, and I think she got choked. So that little girl died there. They had a daughter named Violet. Her fiance like called off the engagement, so she went to the top floor and jumped out the window from depression. She didn't die and was upset she didn't die, so she ran back in the house and found her father's shotgun and shot herself, and she died on the sofa. Then the mother, different things happened there. It was just tragedy, tragedy. But that is one of the most active places I've ever been. It is a museum during the day, so you can walk through, be out of
Hell
their hair
no.
in 30 minutes. You go in there, you'll be like, I'm just here to look at the museum. You go in and out.
Yeah.
But at night, when they have investigations, they like to talk, they like to communicate, especially the one that shot herself in the stomach. She's the most active one, my experience. Um, they Years ago I was with my best friend, and we always thought this was interesting. We were doing an investigation, and we were getting a lot of hits from a Indian girl, at least from the responses. And
Hmm.
we told the guide, and he says, wow. He said, that's crazy. He said, she never comes out when we do investigations.
She
He
saw her
said,
people.
he's, she, he,
Representation, baby.
my best friend is, Latino. And so he's
See?
darker. And then she saw, and he said, she never comes out. And he said, the Whaleys had a maid, and it was the Indian girl. And he said they made her sleep in a separate quarter of the house, which is where we were, which is now the courtroom, and it
That's
used to be a bedroom. And
crazy.
I remember how talkative or it was years ago, responsive. And my friend was like, she talked to us because we were different and we weren't
Yeah.
Caucasian.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, look at these two. Their skin is close to mine, And I never forgot that. And she
Child, she
never
thinking y'all
brought her.
Cherokee, baby.
Yeah, yeah, she was talking to us, but yeah, the 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐵 House, San Diego, strongly, and I would recommend you look it up too. You'd be like, it's interesting.
Yeah. But didn't you go to Lizzie Borden house too?
I did, but it was more like I had to go. Okay, I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rent a car literally for 6 hours and drive to Fall River, which is the other way. And I went and did a tour. And I couldn't do an investigation. Long story, I was by myself and I had a room in Salem, which was an hour north, and I was like, okay, I'm not staying. Like, I just left. And so I did an investigation, took some videos and stuff. I went to her grave, which was like 5 minutes away from the house. I was in that cemetery by myself. I don't know what I was thinking, whatever. Filmed, and then I made a little
Girl.
video about it. But no, I have not yet been able to investigate the house. I need to.
And the fact that people can stay at the house, it's like a bed and breakfast, is
It is
so
a bed
fucking
and oh yeah,
crazy.
oh yeah. They made we were walking through, and I was like, wait a minute, people, what? And they were like, this is one of the rooms, and they were like, that's where her father died. I was like, why would I do that? Why would I?
Why would you want to sleep in the bed where this man died at?
I was just like, this is creepy. But it was a beautiful house. It just I would not be able to stay in the house overnight. But I definitely would want to investigate it. They have investigations like every night. I just haven't been able to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, I just got a download or a flashback. Wasn't Anne Boleyn the reason why she was beheaded because she couldn't get the king any sons?
Okay. He had 6 wives that he treated like shit. So I'm not certain if she was the one. I know that he thought that she was cheating on him
Okay.
and without any proof. And he was like, off with her head. He was a jerk.
Yeah, I remember that story.
But she might have been one of the ones with the sons. I'm just not sure. I just know he had 6 and he treated them all like crap.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so talk about spiritual vortexes because I thought this was very interesting too because you try to stay away from it.
Spiritual vortex.
Yeah.
Some locations
Hmm.
do have vortexes, and I don't encounter them very often. Thank goodness. It's basically the best way for me to explain it. It's just like a portal, a ball of energy that could lead to anywhere. Spirits can come in and out of it. It's
So
almost
you
like
believe in portals?
I do, and I think okay, I do, and it's because I'm usually able to identify when there is one, and that usually like because I rarely encounter them, and
Right.
it's like they can come in and out. It's like a doorway, an energetic doorway. So let's say like years ago, I did an investigation, Ontario, California, and they were like another site that she was like, I think there's a portal. There's like this cowboy in here that doesn't belong here. He just kind of was like, what's happening? In and out, in and out. And yeah, my friend in Northern California, she has this Airbnb. It is beautiful. I am never going back to the Airbnb. I rarely ever feel sick during the investigation. Rarely. And that's how
Mm.
I knew. I was just like, yeah, I don't feel good. It doesn't happen. And she's like, what? And I said, and we were going in the basement. I was like, is there a portal here? And she was like, and she knew. She was like, uh-huh. Yeah, I've had so many mediums down here. And there's, we definitely think there's one. And I was like, it's just a lot of energy. It makes me dizzy. It makes me feel off balance, and it makes me like a little nauseous. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And then just being in the space, she wanted me to do investigations, like more tours. I said, I'm sorry. I was like, I can do one more, but I'm out of here. I can't do your
Mm.
house anymore. And it's so beautiful too. So yeah, it's just a ball of energy where a spirit can enter in and out. They can come and go, but that means there could be 100 in there.
Right.
It's like a door. Yeah.
So if spirits can come in and out, would you say that is the reason why because of the veil is thinning?
That's how it feels. That's how I feel. That's my interpretation. And see how I say that because there's so much ego in the psychic medium field where they're
For
like, that is
sure.
what it is. Where it's like, no, that's my feeling. My interpretation is that yes, it's the veil is thinner. They can come in and out. I think the reason why I might, whenever I'm around it, I'm like, oh, is because there's too many or there's too much energy in the space. I connect it to not evil, but thick. There we go. Too much is like thick, and it's like you can't breathe. The another one I had was at Montana State Prison.
Mhm.
That was that night. I was like, I don't feel good, but I'm not shocked. It's a freaking prison,
I mean,
Like
yeah,
what's, I
right,
was like, what's in here? Good Lord, you know how many people died in there? So
right.
that one, that night, I remember feeling really sick. But otherwise, when I do investigations, I'm fine. But it's a good thing that that happens. That usually means that I need to get out the situation if I
Mm,
feel sick, if I'm like, okay, nope, time to leave. I'm not gonna sit here and deal with something potentially dark. So,
yeah.
mm.
So why is it that people are saying that the veil thins on certain dates? And why is the veil thinning?
It's a belief of a lot of people. There's different
Hmm.
reasons. Some people say they with astrology, are what else? Spiritual. I've heard so many different, so many different things. My personal opinion is, I think the veil thins on like Halloween, just because of the folklore, the legend, the
Yeah.
energy. It just feels different. Not to me, not like in a negative way. It's just like, again, it's hard to explain. It's just a different type of energy for me that day. But in terms of like the veil being thin various days of the year, who knows? I've heard so many different theories on that.
Right. Right. So have your views of mortality changed over the years?
I'm sorry. Have my views? What? Sorry.
Have your views on mortality have it changed over the
Oh,
years?
it's a really good question.
Listen, because you look like Oprah, I gotta get my Oprah on, baby.
No,
I gotta give you the best I got.
no, it's a great question. I'm like, how can I? Yes and no. It's made okay.
Mm,
Yes, it's made me more em empathetic. I'm gonna say it wrong. I always say emphatic. There we go. I think it's right. Emphatic. It's
mm-hmm.
made me more grounded. Um, this is okay. This is an example of what I'm trying to say. My sister, she had a dog, obsessed with the dog, had her for 15, long, long time. And the dog passed. And I love that dog with all my heart.
Mm,
And my sister was broken, just broken, which makes sense, which makes absolute sense. I cried once for 2 minutes and I was done because I felt like I understood mortality. I felt more like I understood the afterlife. I
mm.
I got it. I knew that she was no longer in pain. I knew that her presence was still around. So I see it differently, like that. I see it differently where I was
Yeah.
sad and I say, you know what? She's happy. She's gonna be around. I feel her. She's gonna pop around. She's not gone. She's forever. I have a different mindset. So that will probably be the best way for me to describe it. I have a different mindset, which I do think is gonna help me as I age and I have grief that's going to happen all around me, people passing, I'm going to be a little bit more controlled. I'll be upset, but then I'll be more controlled, to
Yeah.
understand the other side.
Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up, what are your thoughts on UFOs? Like, have you had any experience with them? Because I've been low key kind of fascinated with aliens and stuff
Mhm.
and just the history. So, what are your thoughts about it? And do you even believe in them?
I definitely believe in him. Was very terrified. That's how I started in paranormal because I was so scared of UFOs when I was a child. I was so scared. I
Mm.
felt like I was like they're gonna take me, and I started to learn more about it. Now it's not my specialty in the paranormal. However, I do usually bring it up whenever I teach classes. I think it's interesting. I do believe them. I definitely don't believe that we are alone in this earth. I feel like they're starting to show themselves more, which
Yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah.
positive. I think we're going to see a lot more. They are
But you
absolutely.
said we're gonna see a lot more like that. They're gonna be like walking down the street or something
I think eventually it's going to be a slow introduction.
of
Like
aliens.
yeah, I do. I just now we're just seeing them more because they're just like, you know what? They probably think low of us. They think that cause they're light years smarter than us. That's just my opinion, and they're just probably trying to time it to where they actually probably are already here, and they're covered up because they are able to transform themselves. There we go, as a human to where we're not afraid. So yeah, I do believe in them.
Tony, no, don't tell me that, girl. You about to have me looking at niggas crazy.
If I get a moment, I have to send you this profile. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's these black guys that if people look like an alien or they're weird or something's different, they start playing the Men in Black theme. It's so freaking funny. If I remember, I'll send it to you. Anyway,
Okay.
but no, whenever I teach and it's in my class for next week, I talk about it briefly. And I always talk about the story of Travis Walton. Have you heard about him? The movie, the Fire in the Sky.
Uh-uh.
Ooh, okay. So
Okay, tell me, tell me.
there's a movie that came out called Fire in the Sky. It came out in 1993. It is based off a book by a man named Travis Walton. In 1975, he was 25. Him and a group of loggers, because they were loggers, I think they lived in like New Mexico or something. They were going to
Right.
the forest to work and they saw something in the forest. And please don't ask me why, because I don't know why, but he got out the car
And what
and
Travis
walked
do?
and walked toward it. Was like, ooh, pretty. I don't know. And it froze him. And the guys that were in the truck saw it. They saw a light shine on him, and he froze. And it
Travis was white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because niggas ain't running up on nothing they don't know nothing about.
Exactly. And lifted him up in the air. They were in the car freaking out. They drove off. So
they left him?
You got like 5 or 6 witnesses that saw this man get lifted up because they were scared. Travis disappeared for, I got to get my facts straight because I got to talk about it next week. I think he disappeared for 3 days. He appeared naked at a phone booth some miles away. It's a long story, but one, I say watch the movie. It's very good. It's very good. It's creepy, but it's very good. So Fire in the Sky. He does interviews. He was even at Lilydale a few years ago doing a speech about his time.
Oh, he's still alive.
He's like 74, 75 now. It was so frustrating. The first year I did Lilydale, he was there, but I was teaching and he was, and I wanted to meet him and I couldn't meet him because I was busy. But no, the story's fascinating because there are a lot of people that don't believe him. So it would be very interesting if you watch the movie and then maybe you watch the interview and then you like what would you think? Like, do you think he's telling the truth? I think he's telling the truth. It's always been a debate over the last 50 years. I think it's real. The movie's very good. He's very detailed, but then they did a lie detector test, and I want to say that the guys that saw it, I think it came back inconclusive or something, but that could have been media at the time. They don't want us to know about aliens, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know, but yeah, so that's the story I always bring up when I'm talking about UFOs. So yes, I believe in them.
Yeah, okay, really quickly, I promise we're almost done.
Yeah, you're good.
Do you believe in this? I was going down I saw this girl, she was talking about different stories that she received from people who have like supernatural experiences with either aliens or just in general, right? Mm-hmm. And she was telling this story about this guy. He went to he's about to leave, he kissed his daughter, kissed his wife, and he's about to go fishing. So as he's driving, he went fishing, whatever, and then like a flash kind of just went off, right? So he didn't think nothing of it. He was like, okay, whatever. Like, maybe it's just, who knows, right? So when he got back in, his wife was like, nigga, where you been at? I've been trying to get in contact with you. So he was like, I'm okay. Like, maybe my phone died. She was like, yeah, but it's been like days or something. So he was like, really? He was like, maybe I must have fell asleep. I'm sorry, blase, blase. So as he walking around, he knows that it was really quiet. So he was like, where's baby girl at? And she was like, who are you talking about? And he was like, right? He was like, our daughter, like, where is she? And she was like, we never had a child. And so he's like, yo, this was her room. So I'm getting chills just talking about a child. So when he went into the room, it was like an office, like the room never existed. So then he started going around the house and he was looking for pictures and stuff. And it was just only him and his wife. And he was like, I do not know what happened that day, but I know I had a child. So when she was telling the story, people in the comment section, I don't know why I didn't say this, but people in the comment section was saying how they remember that same flash and certain things in their lives have altered as well.
Ooh, interesting.
Ain't that crazy?
That I haven't heard before, but they could have been yeah, I believe in stuff like that. It's a time warp.
A time warp, yes.
Yeah, it could be that. There's another word, I can't think of it right now. Time bending. There we go. Time bending is similar to time warp.
So time bending is real.
I believe in it. It's the reason I'm not saying is because there's a lot of when I do my class, I always talk about paranormal and what fits in the box. But because I'm not an expert on some of it, I just touch on it. So like time bending, I know a little bit about it, but I'm like, I am not going to sit here and spew lies. I have no idea, but I believe in it.
Right.
Time warp, I believe in it. Reincarnation, absolutely. Past lives, absolutely. What else is in that box? The cryptids. So cryptids are like Mothman, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot.
And you believe in those as well?
I believe, I'm smiling because my friend and I had a debate on this. I believe that yes, but let's back up. Bigfoot. My personal belief is Bigfoot is a gorilla that is like deformed or different. Our chromosome is off. That's my opinion. Like I was like, I believe there's Bigfoot. I just don't know if it's like like I don't like people are like, it's a mythical monster. I'm like, I don't know if it's a monster. I just think it's a crazy gorilla. I don't know.
Girl, not the gorilla with a disability.
My friend said, he was like, you just called it the gorilla disabled. I said, no, I just
Tawny, you gotta stop, Tawny.
I was like, I'm just saying it's not a mythical monster.
Girl.
But no, I do believe in them, but I think there's something just like off. Like a chupacabra. It looks like a deranged dog, so I'm like,
that's a fact.
So I'm
A
like, maybe
really
it's just
deranged, scary dog.
Yeah, I'm like, just maybe it's a crazy dog coyote mix. So I have like a thought thought of that. So, but yeah, I believe in that.
Oh, wow. Okay, and last but not least, I feel like we could talk for hours because I love talking about this shit. What would you say is the positive side of the paranormal that people don't talk enough about?
Um, the historical aspect, which is
Mm,
why I always bring it back to. I think it's so interesting. I think it's intriguing. I think it's telling people stories. That's mainly why I do it. It's just telling their stories, like something really small as I was walking in Salem last year and the houses, they're so beautiful. And out of nowhere, I just felt like there was a young man standing by the fence. He looked like, remember that my movie in my head, he looked like he was
right.
maybe 15, 16. He had on like a little colonial hat. And yeah, I could just feel, and he's just laying, like leaning there. And you can see him watching me. And then he's like, good day. And then I'm just like thinking to myself, please don't follow me. And then as I'm walking down the street, I could feel him just kind of like, but he wasn't like following. It was just like curious, like, oh.
Mm,
And I was like, I feel him. And then he went back to the gate. Remember, they went right back to that spot. So there's something with that space. And then I didn't feel him anymore. And so but then that keeps there's that history, that story. So that's why I do it. I'm just like, wow, I was there longer. Like, let's investigate that house. Like, what's his story? Why is he there? Who is he? Was there a kid that died there? He looked like, 1700s. That's how he was dressed. Like,
yeah.
I'd love to know that story. I'll never find out probably. People probably don't even know he's there, unless there's, a sensitive. But that's what I would say. And I think people should not be so fearful of the paranormal. And that's what I always try to teach. Because there's aspects of it where you don't have to be scared. Like, I don't do that dark demon stuff. Like, we don't have to do that. There's other aspects that we can look into and learn about.
Yeah. Oh, this was amazing. This was good. Thank you so much. Tell everyone where they can follow you, keep up with you, support you.
Yes, Instagram at Intuitive Tawney, which is kind of funny because I'm very private and my friends were like, if you don't make your page public, Tawney, and I finally did. And so I'm glad I did
Yes.
because then people can find me and see my stuff. So yeah, Intuitive Tawney. I am also on TikTok, but my TikTok is a mixture of like horror movie clips, paranormal, different things. So that same thing at Intuitive Tawney. And then I'm also on Facebook, but I don't check it as much. You just find me under Tawney Lewis. But I'd say Instagram is definitely where you can get me.
Oh my God. Well, this was such a treat, Tawny. Spooky series is definitely one of my listeners' favorite.
Oh,
Like,
sweet.
and I'm gonna send you some links to some of the episodes. Like, it's hands down, like chef's kiss, like fire. So I'm so excited that I had the pleasure of having you on the show. And I just can't wait to hear what everybody think about our conversation.
No, thank you for having me. And anybody interested in paranormal, is it okay if I mention some like spooky things I did so they
Yeah,
know?
for sure,
Okay.
girl.
So Ghost Adventures, the Poltergeist Curse episode. That one
Yes.
started streaming April 16th. So it's streaming on Discovery Plus and Max. Please watch that. I'm the medium in that episode. Also on Tubi, there's a lot of stuff. Famously Haunted Hollywood, I'm on.
Tubi
Scariest
not playing no games, baby.
yeah. Famously Haunted Hollywood, Scariest Places in America, Scariest Places in the World. All that one, those are very interesting because they talk about a lot of haunted places, and I'm one of the experts on all three of those. And then there's Canadian shows, Paranormal Revenge, and then My Haunted Hometown. I'm an expert on there. But yeah, if you're interested in any of those things, please watch me.
Yes, please make sure we support our professional homegirls. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know where to find me at. So until next time, everyone, later.
Thank you.
You gonna say bye?
Bye, sorry. I said thank you like I did.
Right.